Welcome back, everybody. It has been a crazy week and so much has happened, but we're here to balance out your week with Whiskey Soured. We have a fresh face to the show. You've seen him on Zooming with the Homie, Sway Universe's new, because he has a network, right? A
Yeah.
podcast? Oh, which
Well,
I didn't.
not necessarily a network of podcasts, but he's, Sway's known for reporting on the culture, and
Right,
he
right.
wants to report more on BLERD culture. So he brought me along.
And y'all gonna find out what a blurred is.
Yeah.
That voice that you're hearing, if you are listening and if you're watching, welcome to the show. Young Deuces, what it do, baby? Boo.
Hey, Milwaukee representing.
Milwaukee, that is in Wisconsin and not in
Not
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Because earlier today, Farron and I were confident when we said that Milwaukee was in Minnesota. Look how it flows off the tongue. Milwaukee, Minnesota. That sounds good as opposed to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I mean, I lived there all my life, so Milwaukee, Wisconsin sounds natural to me.
Well,
But
I guess
that's
I
the that's
guess.
that's one of the things that I'm really trying to do, because like when you think about, like, I come from hip hop, and you think about like hip hop people, you hear Detroit, what, Brooklyn,
Yeah.
like, people, there's nobody really representing Milwaukee, and there's a
No,
whole
it's
lot of
not.
talent from here. So I was like, you know what, that's why one of this you're actually going to get an exclusive if you see me on anything. And when I do my intro, I always throw up the fours, because our area code is 414. So the way I put it is four,
Oh.
Mike is the one and the four, or I say
Oh.
414 and I'm the one in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
like,
I
I'm
thought
just
you was
repping my
tipping on
city everywhere I go.
fofos.
Huh?
I thought it was tipping on fofos or something related.
No, I'm trying something new. It's just my way to like my
Oh,
salute to my city. My city, you know what I'm saying? They know it. When they see me throw them foes up, they know I'm representing Milwaukee everywhere I go.
okay. I guess it's like the L's that we throw up. So
Yeah.
we gonna let you have it. I don't think it's gonna stick, new friend. We're gonna you're gonna try it out because I'm not.
I've been doing it here, and people have been noticing it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's my thing. My thing is me. It's my thing when I come on.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
welcome. I felt really slow today, by the way, when I did. I was like, hold on, wait a second. And all I could think of is when I think of Wisconsin, and what took me back there was isn't doesn't oh my god, I'm nervous.
Okay.
To say Green Bay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Milwaukee Bucks, Green Bay Packers, Milwaukee Brewers, Wisconsin Badgers. Those are our teams.
Man. Okay, so your sound just cut out super quick.
Oh, can you hear me?
Okay, now there you are.
Okay, I got to make sure I stay close. There we
Okay,
go.
so you said
The
who?
Milwaukee Bucks,
Milwaukee Bucks.
the Milwaukee
That's
Brewers.
Giannis.
Yep. The Brewers is the baseball team.
Don't know who played there.
All right. Then we got the Green Bay Packers.
Definitely don't know who plays on that team, but I know they got a cheesehead.
Yep. And then our college teams is the Wisconsin Badgers and the Marquette. Yeah.
Oh, Marquette is there?
Yeah.
I thought Marquette was on the East Coast or maybe down south.
I mean, there may be other Marquettes, but the one that Dwayne Wade went to from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was us. That was us.
Oh shoot, I thought that. Okay, and I talk a lot of crap about people out here not knowing geography or where things are because they think that St. Louis is in New Orleans, like Louisiana.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, you're from Louisiana, and I'm like, huh? It's like St. Louis. I'm like,
Nah, that's Midwest. That's Midwest,
because
man.
I said, y'all exist because of St. Louis. Lewis and Clark left from St. Louis, and that's why we call it the gateway to the West.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Let's go. I didn't know that.
yeah. And then it's weird because people refer to St. Louis as back east out here a
Oh.
lot, and I'm like, I get that you're going east to get there, but it's not the east, so
Mhm.
that's really.
Nelly had a whole song called "It's a Midwest Thing." Like, that was the whole thing that he
Just
was.
say back Midwest.
What'd you say?
I tell people all the time, I'm like, just say Midwest.
Yeah.
Just say Midwest. Or
Midwest.
just, you know what, just fine. Just say St. Louis. You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to, because I know where the direction is. Y'all don't, so it's fine. And it
Yeah.
happens. It happens a lot out here. And I was like, yeah, I see why y'all educational system so messed up, overcrowded, understaffed. Y'all got weird cycles that happening, and y'all, wow, like it's just strange.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't.
I still get like anytime I tell somebody I'm from Milwaukee, which is still wild to me. I always either get, wait, there's black people in Wisconsin, and I'm just like, bro, we got a whole basketball team full of niggas. I like, like what you expect?
Yeah, I mean, because the only time I've been to Wisconsin, of course, is to go to Wisconsin Dells, and this is when
Yeah,
I was like in college. Like my college boyfriend, I went with his family uh,
yeah,
on this trip, so it was just definitely uh, not my scene.
yeah. Wisconsin Dells is not the scene. That's the
It
same.
is
Wisconsin
not.
Dells is by the sticks, and then they put the water park in there. But
Yeah.
Milwaukee is this. It's just a smaller Chicago. You
Okay.
know, and so it's like it's literally the exact same.
Can you hear that?
No, I can't. I was like,
Okay.
well, you good?
Because sometimes people can hear it, and I'm like, yo, like my dog is snoring like she's had a tough day. And as you know from earlier, like I've been just going through the ringer with her,
Yeah.
and today I love her.
Pets are
Um,
disrespectful sometimes, but then they love you.
they, it is. It's like my dog has. She's a Virgo, so you know what kind of personality comes with that.
Now
It's
I'm coming to learn that you put a lot of stakes in horoscopes and stuff
yeah,
like that, right?
yeah.
All right,
It's
so I want to know, what do you think I am?
oh, see here you go. See here your ass go. Fairness is your fault.
This is Farron's fault.
This is Spanish fault. Okay, y'all. So for reference, point of reference, Saturday we were at a beach party and there was this guy. He was giving me a lot of air. He looked like Trey Songz perfected. Like he was like 6 something, like model S guy. And I was like, man, you look, I seen you somewhere. And then I was like, oh, like I shouldn't say that. But then somebody else said it. I said, okay, so yes, but perfected. Like, so you look
Okay.
better than him. Like, yeah. And he's like, I don't be out here abusing people. And I was like, and great. And I'm glad that you don't.
Yeah,
Um,
because he been getting a bad rap. I wouldn't even say it's a
is
bad
he getting
rap.
a bad rap or is he just a
Right.
bad person doing fuck
I
shit?
was just about to say that. Like, is it really a bad rap, or is it, you know what I'm saying, a result of bro doing the stuff that he shouldn't be doing?
Yo, it's wild. Like
Yeah.
when you eventually move, whether you move here or to like New York or something, and because you are immersed in entertainment, you will overhear things. People will confide in you about certain things, and it is a strange place
Wow.
to
Yeah.
be in. You will be in certain rooms that you probably never thought, or and hanging with people that you never even imagined, just because you're cool. Like, and
Yeah.
people will know and trust you. So it is interesting. It's an interesting space to navigate.
Yeah, I try to stay out the way. That's why that's kind of why one of the reasons why I chose to do a geek podcast, because I was like, you know what? There's too many podcasts of men telling women what they need to do in relationships and women telling
Yeah.
men what they're doing. I said, you know what? I'ma just talk about geek shit.
So, yeah, so with that said, I don't know. I got to talk to you more because I
Okay.
feel like this is the first time we've had like a conversation. But like
Yeah.
by that time when I talked to the guy, I was like, man, there's something giving me air. And I was picking up on a lot of air, but then it was something that he said that made me like second guess myself. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, you giving me calculated, you giving me Capricorn a little bit. Capricorns, when you if anybody in here like that's listening and watching, one thing is something that's weird or felt like it was like thought through and that person is a Capricorn, it's on brand. Like
Okay.
all the Capricorns I know, ooh, especially my little sister, super calculated.
Okay. All right.
Super calculated. And also they're not necessarily the most honest people I've come to realize either. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm
Uh-oh.
not a Capricorn. Nope.
I know this
No.
association. But I'm talking to you. Maybe by the end of the show, I'll pick up on something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get something out. Okay, so I want to talk about. You were talking about. I wanted to do a show about, geek shit. So like, what is BLERD culture to the people that don't know, and or what is like geek culture? Is it because it's more than anime? Like a
Yeah.
lot of people just refer to it like as anime type things. Tell the world what geek culture and everything is.
Well, so geek culture is right now, it's just like a love of anything that has like a fandom to it, right?
Okay.
But one of the things that me and my podcast is doing and my collective is trying to do is change what geeked means, because from having conversations and interviewing people, what we realize is that everybody has something that they geek out about.
Yeah.
And so our slogan for our clothing, our brand that goes with our podcast and everything is geeked, love what you do what you love, right?
Hmm.
Because we just talked about sports, right? And I can tell you Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time. But there's
Okay.
somebody in the comments, somebody watching is going to say statistically why Kobe Bryant is not the best player, right? But
Okay.
I don't know those stats like that. I just like what I saw. But because you know those stats and those intricacies, that's a nerd. That's the
Yeah.
same thing as a person when you like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Batman's fighting somebody and some. They're like, well, actually, like it's the same. But where blurred culture comes into, which is a black nerd, it is just kind of like a call sign. It's like a subculture within the culture. Like we
Yeah.
love anime, video games, comic books, movies, just everything art about nerd culture. But the one thing about us is we're always looking for representation. So
Yeah.
Blurred started as of right now because we're actually doing a documentary trying to find out the origins of Blurred, because nobody really knows where it came from. Right
Oh
now,
wow.
the furthest back is Donald Faison in Scrubs. He was one of the first instances of saying it. But but we're doing a documentary called the Black Geek Documentary. But the blurred culture is that it's showing the world that we're not all Urkel, because the media
Right.
still believes us to be a black nerd, that we're Urkel. If you watch
Yeah.
any show,
Yeah.
the black nerd is always the butt of the jokes. He doesn't get the guy. She doesn't get. I mean, he doesn't get the girl. She doesn't get the guy, or whatever the case. Like they're always the ones that are punching up, trying to claw for everything. And I'm trying to show the world, like, hey, man, there's a lot of cool motherfuckers that fuck with this shit, and they look like us and sound like
Yeah.
us, and this is what it is. And so, it has evolved so much to where we have conventions now like BlerdCon and DreamCon, and we have all these websites that's dedicated to being a black nerd, and it's really dope because it's taking the veil off of what people thought. People thought
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm grown, so I can't get into anime. I can't talk about comic books. And it's like, no, when you read these stories and you watch these shows, just like any medium, yes, there are kiddie animes, but then there are also adult and more heavy focus animes that deal with trauma, that deal with
Mhm.
death, that deal with mental illness, that deal with the psyche. And it's just put into a different format. So it's like that culture of that, and showing that, like, yo, like, you just because you feel like you outgrown something doesn't mean that you can't tap back into it, because there's ways that you can do it where it doesn't consume and control your life. And I think
Yeah.
that that's where a lot of people they try to exit off, because it's like, man, I'm grown, I got bills, I ain't got time to do that kiddie
Yeah.
stuff no more. And it's like, no, you can. You just got to find
Yeah.
out, because it's a hobby.
Yeah. And
Gaming
you
is
gotta
a
find
good.
your community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so dope because like the nerd community is all about love. And so
Yeah.
the
The
black
blurred community. Now the
is
mother
way
folk,
no no
we gonna
no
talk about them.
well, that's why I was going to get into it, because see, the nerd community is all about love, but you know how black folks do, especially
Uh-huh.
black women and then people of the LGBTQ plus community. I was just on a podcast saying, I said, the best thing that anybody can do is have a gay best friend,
Yeah.
and then just people watch with them. Because when you have a gay best friend or a gay friend in your circle, and you go somewhere like a mall or a convention or something, and you just people watch, you are going to have the best time. And
Yeah.
then also, if it goes down, I have yet to meet one person from the LGBTQ community that does not have hands.
Yeah. And they have to. It's an interesting thing. In hindsight, they have to, because it's a level of they have to protect themselves. And
True.
I one of my really good friends, and it's so funny, I'm gonna text him afterwards. My has been they get attacked at random.
Yes, they do.
So they have to, and a lot of their family, like especially if their family like is accepting, they have a black male figure,
Yeah.
and they tell them like, you have to learn how to fight. Like we have to teach you how to fight, because if this is the way your life is going to be, like this is, you got to be able to look out for yourself, because it might not be somebody around.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true. Like my friend who actually is from Minnesota, yo, like one day I get a text message and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I was like, Cameron, is this you? And somebody, like, he was literally going just to the pharmacy to buy hot sauce. Like he had cooked.
Right.
It was like, I don't have no hot sauce. Literally, when I tell you this place is like the pharmacy is like a couple of paces away,
Yeah.
and that quick, somebody attacked him. You would have never thought that how he went to town on this like 6 foot person.
As he should.
As he
Yeah.
I mean, and he beat the living hell out of him. So it's they have to, like you said, they
Yeah.
have hands. Like all my friends, like my best friend, like I know everybody got hands because you
Yeah.
got to. And anytime anything pop off, they gonna have your back.
Yeah, and so to go back to what I was saying, so because of that, in BLERD culture, when like, because there's cosplay involved, so you got to, so a
Yeah.
lot of people rock it, and when you doing your thing, whether you are just starting or you really doing it big, Black women and people of the LGBTQ plus community are going to be the most supportive people ever.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like, I've been doing this geek sesh stuff for like 5 years now.
Okay.
And when I walk into conventions, like I'm just like the love that we're getting, it's like, yo, hey, I found my people. Like I
Yeah.
always tell people, if you go to a convention, you got to go to one of the all Black ones,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
when you experience it, it's kind of like at the end of Black Panther 1, when that little kid first saw T'Challa, and then
Mm-hmm.
his you can like visually see his mind open up about the possibilities of what a Black kid can be. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when I found what the BLERD culture, that was me, because I've always had this identity. I always, like I said, I come from hip hop, and there was a moment of time where I did suppress my love for anime, comic books, because I'm like, yo, all right, you know what I'm saying? And remember, it used to be the butt of the jokes in TVs and shows.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
nerd, like they used to call people nerds, and I'm like, all right, so I kind of suppressed it. But then as I came into my own, I'm like, yo, I don't gotta fake it for nobody. I'm me. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be me. And when I found that there was a whole community of people that is like, yeah, yo, we us. We gonna cosplay, we gonna talk about this anime, but it's like, it's the way that we bring it. It's the flair. It's not
Yeah.
actually, let me tell you about Batman. It's like, yo, my nigga, Batman really put his hands on Superman. Like and it sounds like barbershop talk, but it's fun. It's all love, and it's just a great time. And I really love being a part of this culture.
It's funny because my sister and my dad are like that.
Yeah.
Super into the history of comic. My dad, I can call him right now. I'm like, okay, Dad, now what was you saying? Because I got my homeboy. Like, I have friends that love my dad just strictly because of his comic book knowledge,
Yeah.
right? I'm not the kid that was into it like that. Or
Yeah.
and so my big sister is, so they love like all of that. And I kind of felt like I was on the outside because I was like, I mean, I get it, but it's like I'm trying
See,
to understand, and like even like my friend today, he was like, "Oh, I gotta watch Ant-Man because I want to see Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think I gotta see Ant-Man because I know it's gonna reference it in some kind of way." And I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to keep up, but I think also like with the industry, it's like so much happening so quick, and you're
it
trying
is.
to like absorb so much. And
Yeah.
where I know I live like more on the like kind of pop culture side of things, and like fashion side of things.
Yeah.
And my sister and I, we relate there too.
Mhm.
But I know I can't call my dad and talk about the Met Gala because
Yeah.
he's not gonna know. But
But
so it's
yeah.
like,
But here's the thing, this is where I love us Black
yeah,
folks,
yeah.
because what exactly what you there's I forgot, and I'm mad I don't remember the guy's name, but he be on TikTok, and he is a fashion guru type of guy, right? But
Uh-huh.
what he does is he lets people comment like a comic character or an anime or a Mario, like a video game thing, and he'll do like a Met Gala style suit. So it's like, but it's inspired by like the color scheme of that. So it's like, if you say Superman, it's not going to be like a suit with a big S, but it's going to be a
Right.
blue and red suit styled, and he does the whole dramatics. And I'm like, See, that's us. Like, I love that for us. You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
level of creativity that we
Yes.
have as Black people, the way that our minds like work, and also like I always, growing up because I wasn't the like you said, stereotypical like Black kid, right?
Yeah.
My sister and I, we grew up playing Barbies.
Yep.
Like it was my mom said something to me, and I said, "Girl, Barbies is my life." Like literally, that was my response. She will never let me like
Yeah.
live it down. I've applied for jobs at Mattel. My sister applied for like a job not too long ago at Mattel. Like we think we keep getting rejected, but you know what? We're not gonna be like, man. No, it's still Barbie is my life. Barbie is everything, right?
Yeah.
So like they just really they had an immersive experience here.
Yeah.
And so we went the opening weekend. Well, I tell you, we showed up in our Barbie pink,
I love it.
Barbie pink, Barbie matching shoes, all of it. And everybody, like the little kids was like, oh my gosh, like it's like a Barbie doll. And the people working like, you guys look really good. I said, yo, no, I've been waiting for this my whole life.
Yeah. But see, that's the
So,
thing. That's what like nerding out or geeking out about something is, because I'm pretty sure you have a little bit more knowledge than the average person about Barbie, right?
yeah,
And so if you find, like you said, you talk about you and your sister, there you go, right? Talk about you and your sister. So let's say, you know what I'm saying, I come on here and I love Barbie. Me and you would have a moment going crazy about Barbie. And
yeah,
that's what I love pulling out, because even when I do my interviews, I seek the little thing that
yeah.
somebody geeks out about, and I focus on
See,
that.
that's so that's so funny you say that. So like when I was doing red carpets, which we talked about, like I want to get back into,
Yeah.
depending on like what the event was, who was going to be there, because sometimes you'll get the sheet in
Yes.
advance where
Yep.
you can look, and then sometimes you might get it the day of. So it depends. But Black people is always a way that we can connect, and you'll remember something, especially if somebody you've been waiting.
Yep.
So like Sterling Brown.
Oh
Sterling
yeah.
Brown is from St. Louis. I was waiting
Oh
for this moment. I was like, the moment is here.
yeah.
His people was rushing past out because I was like, "What's up, St. Louis?" And so he was motioning, and they was trying to rush me in.
Yep.
So he was like, "Ask me something out loud." I was like, "What are you missing about?" He said, "The crab ragoon, the emos. Send me some emos and some crab ragoon." And I'm like, "All right, like, because
That's what's up. Yeah.
that is something that we St. Louis has some of the best food you will ever
Oh, I
experience."
love St. Louis. Listen here. One. Okay. Don't cancel me. What St. Louis told me it's called, but
Nope, nope,
you know what I'm gonna say.
nope, yep,
Well, Blankman
yep,
and a Vest soda is
yep,
the most best combo in the world. And oh my God, me and my guys, we used to go to St. Louis so much. And when we discovered Vest and Blankman, like it became a staple. Anytime that we passed through St. Louis, we stop it and get in that.
yeah.
Vest became so much a part of us that we was contacting Vest like, hey, don't y'all want to come up to Milwaukee? Y'all got to bring that soda up here.
And it's weird because like there were so many times that Vest was supposed to go out of business, and
Mm-hmm.
so something happens, and it's like, but I think if they expanded their market, they would it would hit because
It
it'd
would
be something
hit.
like nobody ever experienced. So up the street from me, I have like a soda shop. So
Mm-hmm.
it sells all these different drinks from all over. And I was telling them, I'm like, yo, St. Louis has a brand, a line of soda that y'all need to carry. And it's an
Man,
experience. It's an experience because you
it
like
is.
it's wild. Like there was a refrigerator that we were taking back at my job, a mini
Mm-hmm.
fridge.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the packaging of the mini fridge. Why are there two lemon lime best sodas
The best up?
in the marketing? Yeah, and I was like, wait, what does anybody who did this? Because somebody from St. Louis clearly took this picture.
Had to, because that's what I
Had
said.
to.
Anytime I tell somebody about Vest, unless they from St. Louis, nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows about it. I was surprised my homeboy that's from Detroit knew about this one artist that we had named, he used to go by Pretty Willie, then he gave his life over to God, so then he went by his real name or whatever. And so when he tweeted about it the other day, I was like Pretty Willie Suella? Like
Oh
he,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was like, I know who that is. I'm like, really? Oh,
So I used to,
wow.
like I said, my roots is in hip hop, and I was
Yeah.
I was a traveling artist. So we used to go all through. So you know what I'm saying? So like the Dirty DJs was like my homies, you know what I'm saying? I did a mixtape, and Ali hosted the mixtape. Midwest Mixtapes is my guy, and that guy is from St. Louis, and he puts on everybody from the city in St. Louis. Like I'm Midwest first. No matter what, I got love for all Midwest, because here's the thing that in hip hop, what I always attach myself to a purpose, and the purpose that I attach myself to with my music was, yo, everybody keeps on trying to snatch up the Midwest artists. Everybody's like down south, East Coast, West Coast, but I'm like, Midwest artists are literally the ones that been pushing the game. But they try to snatch it up. Anybody from Detroit that's popping, they try to make it seem like they East Coast. Like, nah, Eminem, Big Sean, Trick, Royce the 5'9", all that's us. Anybody from St. Louis, they try to make y'all down south. I'm like, no, 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 no. Nelly
It's a
went
different
diamond.
sound.
Nelly went diamond. That is a
Talk
Midwest
about it.
artist that went diamond. St.
Talk
Lunatic
about it.
changed the game. Like no, this you are not. I was like, I don't like y'all can try to clown Jibs all you want, but everybody was singing Chain Hang Low. Y'all can try to
Yeah.
clown Jaquan, but when Hood Hop came on in the club, everybody went crazy.
You know
It's
what's
like, you know what I'm saying? I
up?
rep the Midwest. Bone Thugs and Harmony, no, one of the most, like, that is the out next to, and I'm talking about a group, not just the two people, but a group.
Yeah.
Next to Wu-Tang Clan and NWA, Bone Thugs and Harmony is right there. And that's Midwest. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I be singing those praises loud as hell. Like,
A
nah,
lot of people
Midwest.
don't hear it though. They don't recognize the talent that comes out
Yeah.
of the Midwest, you know,
Mhm.
and St. Louis in particular. I mean, like right now, I think it's catching on, but like Smino. We
Smino.
love
Oh,
Smino.
so cold. Oh, Smino's so dope. And then also, correct me if I'm wrong, but a whole king of comedy is from St. Louis.
Yes.
Cedric the Entertainer's
He's
from
from the
there.
Ville. He's from the historical Ville
Like, come
in St.
on,
Louis.
G.
Well,
Like,
I
yo,
mean, we St. Louis birthed a lot of people. You know,
it
we got
did.
like we said, we got Tina Turner.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cedric. You have Nelly. You like you said, Jaquan, and like that, and they're touring together right now. Like a lot of the stuff, like Nelly's been taking Quan everywhere with him. Like I know, and I know Jarrell from elementary school. Like we went to school together.
Oh, that's
So
dope. That's dope.
yeah, so like it's so many, like I said, like you got the Sterling Browns, you have so many. What's the dude that was on Mad Men?
Oh, dang, what's old boy? I know you're talking about too.
He's from
Shit.
St. Louis. He was and
Yeah.
he was an acting teacher back like at the school he worked at, like at whatever high school. So we got Jason Tatum. You
Yep.
got Bradley Bill. I
Y'all
don't
got some
know where
hitters.
I don't know where Ben McLemore is. If he playing overseas. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was one of the dudes that played for the Warriors. His name was Jordan.
Jordan Poole? No, he's from Milwaukee.
No, that's Jordan. That's the other Jordan Bell.
Oh, well, Jordan Poole is from Milwaukee. I know that.
No, Jordan. No. This it was another cat. Jordan Bell, and he wanna but now I don't know where he is now. But he played for the Warriors. It was another. It was I could see his face. It made but it's a lot of talented people that come
Yeah.
to, I mean, like I said, like you got to hear, you got art, you got so many
Got so
people,
many. Yeah.
so many, myself included. I was on the
Hey,
cover of
yeah,
the
listen.
magazine
Let's
this month
not
too,
sleep on
but
you.
I'm
Let's
not
not
gonna sleep
sleep
on me
on
no more.
you.
I've been sleeping on me, friend.
I know you have, because I'm telling, like, you sleep on yourself all the time, and I'm like, bro, like, one in this fashion game, you've been killing it. Like, anytime you drop a picture, I'll be like, yo, I see you,
I know I'm about to like. I got this whole thing that I'm trying to do, and like how I'm trying to weave like my brand together, like my brands, like because it falls under St. Angeles, but then yeah, I got the Whiskey Sour podcast, like but then I got my candles, so I got a whole concept of how I'm gonna weave things together. So that's what I've been
Yeah.
slowly been doing, but like like just trying to be the best version of myself, like I was saying earlier, like greatness, and living in that space, not being distracted, being consistent with myself, because how can I expect consistency from other people when I'm not necessarily fully consistent with myself? So that's a process, and that's being real. Like I have to be real with me sometimes, and that's
Yeah.
cool. So I like it here. I like it here. I'm taking things a
No,
day at a
yeah.
time. Just pray for me, because some days it be one of them days. Like
But
I,
see that's normal. And see, here's the
yeah,
thing. This is what I like about the brand that you're building. Because like, as I started getting into this creator space, I started paying attention to more people and just kind of seeing like what do they like, how are they positioning their image? And I don't know if you're intentionally trying to do this, but you give off this spiritual whimsical vibe for me. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see your stuff, like the same vibes that I get from like Erica Badu or Rachel True. Like I see that coming from you because of like, like you said, you're all about, like I said, the vibes, aromatherapy with the candles and everything, and you take it serious. But like you just like you always strike me as a person is like, look, I'm calm. I am all about good vibes. Do not bring that negative energy around me, and just protecting my peace. You know
I
what I'm saying?
am. It's so funny that I appreciate that. That's what you're picking up on. And I'm still trying to figure out your sign while you saying all of this. I'm listening. I'm taking it in. I the journey to get here, and I tell people it has not been a smooth, like the easy journey. When we think about the concept of protecting our peace and making sure things, like there's certain things you can't do in my home. You
Mhm.
can't argue in my home. I now, can I cuss you out here? Absolutely, because I pay the bills here. But I don't even want to do that to disrupt the energy that I put a lot of work in my
Yeah.
house. You know what I mean? So it's certain things like I'm like, yo, like I gotta talk to you later. I don't like how this makes me feel. Like I've been
Mhm.
so firm on my boundaries. And like and you know, I've been vocal even about the tumultuous relationship that I've had with my father in like the recent year. And I tell people, I was like, yo, the only reason why my daddy got off the block list is because he almost died on me. So I had to. I was like, so this is what we doing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So, this is what we doing. Oh, so this is how you gonna make me talk to you? Because he
Yeah.
did tell my sister, I don't know if Dominique is ever gonna talk to me because I'll be strong. And when people don't do right by people, it blows my mind.
Me too. And
It
that's
blows
why
my
I
mind.
that's why like I'm also I'm glad that I've been meeting the people that I have been meeting in this industry, because
Yeah,
we know, I mean, we know that there's a whole lot of people that are not for people here.
they're
You know what I'm
not.
saying? And you know what I'm saying? So like when I decided to put myself out here, like, like I said, one of the first people to show me love that to me that I looked at like, yo, this is a major, major person, was Tahir. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I was literally just a fan in the crowd, like, yo, I like this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also
yeah,
creating. And Tahir was like, yo, I'm gonna get you on Zooming with the homies. And I said, yo, this is like he like and at that point I didn't meet Tahir, and I'm like, oh, you my guy for that. And then he put me on multiple times, and then when him and Kev and Mel Mitchell came to Milwaukee, they
hmm,
came to my studio here. Where'd you see me at? Right here. And I
wow,
said, yo, I said, man, this collective has always showed
yeah,
mad love to me. And I'm like, yo, this is
yeah.
crazy. And then as I continue to go, I'm meeting more and more people. One of my closest uh people in the industry that I chop it up with, who gives me like who makes themselves available to me, is the great Deborah Wilson. Now,
Oh wow,
yeah, I got a chance to interview her, and what you know how these Zooms and StreamYards go. After record goes off, a lot of the times we don't just immediately leave. A lot of
yeah,
times it's just that moment for us to chop it up. And me and
yeah.
her chopped it up for like another hour and a half. And then at the end, she was like, you know what? Give me your number, tell me your birthday. Don't hit my agent and my manager for anything. If you ever need me for anything, hit me
Yeah.
direct. And now, like, I be, I'm on my journey with voice acting and everything. So I'm asking her for advice, and she's telling me stuff. And it's just like, yo, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I grew up watching you on Mad
On
TV,
TV.
and now you're sending me selfies with your scorpion wearing my gear, like, yo, brother. And she calls me brother love. Brother love, check this out. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like, yo, and I just feel so blessed that I met like good souls like that, versus
Yeah.
having the person where you meet the asshole and you're like, yeah, I met somebody I looked up to and they treated me like like crap. But it's like now I feel indifferent against everybody.
You
I'm
know,
glad.
it's really weird because I I understand. Okay, I understand like that pretty privilege is a thing, right?
Mhm.
And I am aware that I To some people, I have that,
No, no, no,
right?
no, not to some people, to most people. Listen
Okay, okay.
here.
I don't want to toot my own horn,
Well, I'll toot it for you.
but so I've the only time I've had like a weird encounter, I'm a name drop, was Sofia Vergara when I worked at Saks,
Okay.
which a lot of people will agree.
Hmm.
Busta Rhymes. And a lot of
Wow.
people will say makes sense. Yeah,
Wow. Well,
yeah.
listen
And
here.
I don't think outside of that I've had anything that sticks out to me where maybe somebody would have been stayed, because like for the most part when I meet people, a lot of times I was, when I was working in Beverly Hills at Saks, I'm at work, so I
Right.
can't fan like I Patty LaBelle.
Walked in.
So I was like, I wanted to help her, but my homeboy got to her first, right? But I was still fangirl in the back. But I was like, oh my God, like it's my birthday. This is turned out to be like Patty LaBelle is in here. She ain't got to say nothing. Patty comes over, come here, baby. What? Why can't you come and talk? "Yeah, I'm just Patty." I said, but you saying that, but you Patty LaBelle. I don't think you get where I'm going with this,
Yeah.
sis. Like we would sing your songs in my mama's Nissan
Oh my God. Yeah.
240 red, cherry red.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
It is. Yeah.
Like,
So
so
yeah, this is what I do because I like. Here's the thing, and I think that it breaks the ice, but it also allows you to have that moment. Anytime that I meet anybody that I truly like, I'm again, I'm a straightforward, honest person. So let's say, like I said, if you was that person for me, I'd be like, hey, Dominic, before we start this, I just got to let you know, I love everything you do. You're this person to me. I grew up on this. I just got to get this out, and then we can go on with regular business, right?
uh-huh.
More people are accepting of that because it's like, okay, this is the real moment. Let you have that moment, and now we got that out the way. So now we can do whatever needs to happen. If it's an interview or I'm like I said in your store, but it's like it helps out because it's like, you know what? I'm not going to act like you don't deserve these flowers. I'm not going to sit here and act like you're not this icon. When I interviewed
Yeah, yeah.
Kadeem Hardison, I did that. I interviewed
Okay.
Kadeem Hardison, and I said, "Hey, before we record, I need to stop. Before we record, I need to let you know you are Dwayne Wayne. I know you know you're Dwayne Wayne, but I need you to know how much. I need you to know how much that means to me." And he was like, "I mean, I appreciate that." I was like, "Yeah, bet." I was like, "I just needed to get that out. I
I
needed
just
to get."
every time I think of Kenny Hardison, I just think of that scene in A Different World where he like is a what like I
You know, he
do.
did, he fought against that.
Really?
He said that when it came, as you take on roles, you start realizing how this character would act. And
Yeah.
he said, when I think about that moment, I said, what would I do as Kadeem Hardison? I said, that was some sucker shit. That's what he said. He said, why would you destroy this day like this? And he said, and the groomsmen, it was like, I'm surprised that they didn't beat his ass. He was like, because that's what me and my groomsmen would have did. And so he was
Yeah,
like, he said, I tried to fight against it, but he was like, they wanted us to do it. But he said that it was shortened. They had a longer one. And he said,
oh,
what we see on TV is the compromise. He fought for that because he was like, I'm not going to go all in and mess up this like this. It's corny. And he was like, but so what we got was the compromise.
oh shoot.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like knowing he's going off of what he would do,
Yeah.
but Dwayne, like, and the personality
Yeah.
is totally on brand. Like, if
Yeah.
you really don't think about it,
Yeah.
like, because was he a toxic guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, he was. Listen, he was really the villain.
yeah,
He was really the villain.
yeah. Okay, so I think about stuff like okay, so I've met Beyonce and they have all been at Saks, like when this has happened, like it
Yeah.
was. So like the one time where we really had our moment, uh, I had a coworker like holler for me across the floor, and I worked in shoes, and my homegirl that's calling me
Yeah.
works in Gucci, like it was a boutique inside of Saks. I'm thinking she about to split this sale with me because it was a slow day.
Yeah.
for me. So I'm thinking that's what's gonna happen. She said Beyonce is here. I don't want nobody else to help her but you. You're gonna help Beyonce.
Hey, that is a friend.
That is a
That is a
friend.
friend right
Shout
there.
out to Yolanda from Detroit.
Yeah.
That like so I was like, okay, so she was like, she gotta come off the elevator or she gotta come down the escalators right here. Stand your ass right here. So I was like, so we standing there talking because here's the crazy thing how you can get to the shoe store, the shoe floor, it was two ways to get there.
Right.
So she could have got off the elevator and took the path by like Fendi and Louis, but somehow she took the way toward Gucci and Prada, and that's where I was. So I was like, Beyonce, like, and just like we was friends, just
You got to.
regular.
You got to.
I was like, so you coming to get some shoes or no? And so, and that's what started the conversation. And of course, she ended up not wearing shoes. Like her feet did hurt. And Julius, she was on a time crunch, and he was like,
Yeah.
Miss Beyonce, like, we got to go this way. And I was like, but Julius. And years later, and she came back up to me. She was like, 'cause she walked away super quick, but then she came back, and this is what I mean. So the hospitality and man, she
Oh
said,
yeah.
it was so nice meeting you. Thank you so much. Bye. Like just very country, right?
Yeah.
Years later, I would see Julius in the club because Julius took money out of my pocket because I was going to get Beyonce some comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
I'm at a all-star party, and then it's like the table that I'm at. It's like some footballers. I was like, "Come to our table." I was like, "All right, whatever, cool." My feet hurt. I sit down, and then I kind of like the back is like it's not like a tall back, so I
Okay.
kind of slide and hit this guy. So I'm like saying, "Excuse me," but then this other dude like really like, "Are you okay? Do you need it?" And I was like, "Julius." And he was like trying to play me like his name was Julius. So I said, "What's his name?" To the guy. He said, "That's Julius." I said, "Julius, you took money out of my pocket." And he's like, "What you talking about?" So I hop down and I go around. I'm
Yeah.
all in Julius' face. If my dude wouldn't have walked in the club that night, I was leaving with Julius' number. Oh, he was on my line.
He was on your line.
He was on my line. And I was like, you fine. So, but yeah, it's like you said, like just being able, but also the other thing too is just like being able to just kind of treat people like regular because like at the end of the day
Yeah.
they just like us, so
Yeah.
they don't know what to do when you not like
That's why I preference it because I'm like, look, I'm a fan out real quick. I'm letting you know this so that way it's not like,
Yeah.
oh my god, they fanning out. It's okay. Give it to
Yeah.
me real quick. All right, bet. Now we got that out the way. Now let's get to whatever we got to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it works out for me all the time so far. I haven't had a bad experience yet with it.
who like what is your favorite interview?
My favorite interview was Jay Ellis because I got the only interview where Jay Ellis is talking about his geek side anywhere. And I love that.
Wow.
And so, that's what I look for in an interview. I'm like, you got to think. When I interviewed Jay Ellis, it was at the height of Insecure. And everybody wanted to know, hey, is Issa and Lauren's going to get back together? What's going to happen? Like, it was that final season, right? And we talked about it a little bit, but I was like, bro, I saw online, I find a little small thing. And he was talking about his love for DC Comics, right? So in DC Comics, I mean, everybody knows the big dogs. You know Batman, you know Superman, you know Wonder Woman, you know the Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, all that, right?
Max from Batman Beyond is not appreciated enough.
But
no.
Yeah. But he pulled out a character that only if you are a true comic book head that you would know. And it's this character by the name of Blue Marvel. And he was like, and he was like, yo, I would love to be that character. And so we spent a good chunk of talking about that, talking about being a black nerd, talking about it. And so if you look up any interview, you're going to get Jay Ellis interviews about his relationship. You're going to get about Insecure, about Top Gun. But if you want
to going to get information about his relationship?
hey.
Okay.
But if you want to know like what type of fandom and stuff that Jay Ellis is in, you got to come to Geek Set. And I love that so much, But again, Deborah Wilson also is a big one because at my she gave off such amazing energy. Like when you watch that interview, when I watch back on that interview, it's like you literally see me like this. I'm just
Oh,
I'm just amazed and about just hearing her speak and just catching up game from her. So like those two have been like some of my two favorites.
okay. Yeah, I don't think like I don't think I've had like red carpet moments. So like of course like Loretta Devine.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so I interviewed her for the NAACP brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the brunch. It was like a dinner that they have. It's like a weekend of events. So they do like a brunch. They do like a part that's not televised, and then they do like the one that we see on TV.
Yep.
And so that, and then I would say like June Ambrose, especially being like a fashion head,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like a pivotal breakthrough moment
Yeah.
for me, and her complimenting me on my look at that. So
Oh,
that
I love
means a lot, to get that seal of that stamp of approval from someone that is so deep in the game, like the
Yeah.
fashion game. That meant a lot. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, I ended up, and Kelly Rowland used to be my client at Saks, but I was so far removed from Saks, I didn't realize like how much time I had, because you have clients that like, no, 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 you like, I've been out, where like Malaysia has been like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
or like even like Black China, because Black China used to come in a lot, but she was my homeboy's client, but we would always end up talking. And so
Yeah.
like one night I randomly went out and she was like, what's up? Like, go come to my table and blah, 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 blah. And so when everything hit the fan with Tiger going out with Kylie,
Yeah.
so we're all in the bathroom. China's like, what should I say?
She asked you?
Yeah, like
Oh
me
shit.
and my cousin. So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like, what? I mean, you want to be petty or do you want to keep it cute? And my cousin was telling her like, wish her well, and I was like, yeah, wish him well. But then for real, like, fuck that. She's like, yeah, no, fuck that.
Gotta have the balance. You gotta have the balance
Gotta
of look
have a
here.
balance.
I'm gonna take the high
Old me.
road,
That
but
was old
I'm
me.
gonna have some petty to it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that was old me. But new me,
Yeah.
I'm like, who? Like, I don't have no clue who you're talking about because
But that's dope that you're leaving that type of impression on people,
I mean,
because because like I always think about that. I always think about the impact that the stuff that we do have on people,
yeah,
right? What became my mission with Geek Set was to like let people love the stuff that they love. So like uncover
yeah,
that love, that stuff that you haven't really talked about besides like that one friend that you can go in deep with. I want to show that side of you to the world, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so then when I think I'm like, yo, when I putting out an episode and then it doesn't get the views that I thought it was going to get, we get in our head. I'm like, damn, man, am I making the impact? Am I making the impact? And then you have small moments, like I said, like somebody remembering you that you're like, oh, I did make an impact. One of just recently just happened. I interviewed Gail Bean. I've been a supporter of Gail Bean for a minute. Me and her have been chopping it up on social media and everything, and we've had a lot of like interesting conversations. So when I brought her on my show, we had a really long conversation and just kind of like, and I thought it was a pretty dope conversation. Now, obviously, it was the views at first didn't get what I wanted, but then when she got on P Valley, it blew up, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of thirst comments. It was a lot of niggas like, oh, she fine and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take it, right? But I'm thinking, I'm just like, yo, I thought this was a really dope interview, and then she had just recently won an award,
Mm-hmm.
and in her Instagram post of the award and the video that she made for it, not only did she use the clip from my interview with her, but she shouted me out. She shouted three people out: Katori Hall, another big time actress, and me. And I said,
Wow.
damn, yo. I said, yo, I really did make an impact. And it made me remember the mission. It's like, you know what? I may not got the most views. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
the most people may not know my name, but I know that I'm making an impact because there's people that come back and talk to me. There's people I start seeing like trickling, like, like I said, we talk about BLERD. Me and you talked about BLERD, right? And I've interviewed a few people and introduced them to the term BLERD. And then I'm seeing them posting now claiming that they're a BLERD. And I'm like, yes, like that's
Yeah.
exactly the impact that I'm looking. So I was like, even if I'm not getting mentioned or even if
Yeah.
I'm not getting tagged, I'm seeing the change in somebody's mindset that just happened because they're like, oh, I just uncovered this. And it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of the mission. I was like, I want to be a reporter of the culture. Yes, I want to act and I'm doing the voice acting, but one of
Yeah.
the things that I really want to do is I like when people do dope stuff in this culture, I want to create a space
Yeah.
that's like the Breakfast Club. As an
Yeah.
artist,
But a safe space.
a safe space. Yeah, because you got to think, if you're a really dope cosplayer, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because you do fashion. When you put together a piece, there's months that you spend putting together that piece, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the big event, the Met Gala, whatever the case. Now, obviously, the Met Gala is more, hey, what are you wearing? Tell me the story and everything like that. But in cosplay, they don't really have outlets to do that. I want to be
Yeah.
that outlet that if you don't know anything about cosplay, you're like, well, let me check out on Geekset and maybe I can learn about it. And you're hearing from actual people who sew, who put this stuff together, who search and stuff like that. Like that's what I want to do. Or the comic book artists, like you draw and yeah, you may get a lot of love on Instagram, but you don't have a place to tell your journey, your story, or anything. I want to create that space for people. So it's like once I realized that that was my mission, I stopped worrying about numbers and I just start focusing on impact. Am I
Yeah.
changing people's mindset? Am I changing
Yeah.
their lives? Am I helping this culture? And that's
Yeah.
kind of where I go.
And that's where I've been with it because I'm in the same boat, like we talked about some stuff offline, which
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Um, but there's not an outlet or a space for people to really just genuinely be themselves.
Right.
And I wanted to create a space. I wanted people to show up as their real self and be comfortable doing that regardless of what we were talking about. i
Mm-hmm.
don't i don't want to make it feel like it's this formal interview or whatever,
Right.
like, you know I want you to be able to come here and talk about whatever, like based on certain things that I might, see you post, like I might start there and then it builds from there. But
Right.
I feel like we don't have enough people being their true authentic selves,
Yeah.
and so that's where this came about. Sometimes, you got to get a little liquor involved for people to show up like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That is A-okay.
Hey,
But
okay.
A-okay. And so, and that's where that concept came from. Like, I'm like you, like, but we also know that a lot of people that get the views and the numbers or whatever, it's always some weird clickbaity divisive thing. And a lot of
Mhm.
times, and it's like Kev said, because I bought Kev's master class.
Me too.
It could be, you can have 100 episodes.
Yep.
And a lot of podcasts don't last past what, like 10 or 12.
Right.
And it'll be something that there's a pivotal moment because somebody will see you doing the work.
Yeah.
It's also about injecting ourselves into spaces that we know we belong. People talk about the concept of imposter syndrome. And
Hmm.
so I told people, I was like, I don't necessarily fully relate to that because I know God got a plan for me and I know the plan.
Yep.
But it's a lot of motherfuckers in places that they don't deserve to be.
They are.
And we see it on a huge level. So I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I? Like, you know what I
That-
mean?
That's
Like,
exactly how I got into
it's
voice
a level
acting.
of confidence that you gotta have
Hmm.
to be able to like really live carefully. Like I got a humble. I was like, you, the marks that you wrote down, you have hit them all. What's the issue? I was like, rest in your blessing.
Yeah.
Like rest in that. To stop chasing stuff. And I talked about this because we were talking about 2 episodes. We talked about boundaries, mental health, all of this stuff. When you stop chasing shit,
Oh my God. Preach.
when you stop chasing, because you know what's yours.
Yes.
You going to take it. I ain't gotta chase shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So once you realize that, it's a different level of like relief that comes over you because you know what it is. God done gave it to you.
I'm gonna give you a big exclusive that changed my whole mindset. So probably like year 3 of doing this, right? I was like, yo, man, man, we independent. It'd be dope if we could be a part of a network. I'm like, Charlemagne starting that Black Effect network. Let's go over there. Let's see if we can get over there. Let's get on one of these podcast networks. And I spent a year going hard trying to get us a part of a network, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing was happening. It was no's. I wasn't getting anybody there, right? And then this was the year before the pandemic. So then the pandemic hit. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, damn, man, I don't want us to lose steam. And at that point, we was just a podcast, but we was going to these conventions and as press and covering that, right? That was
Mm-hmm.
our two things. So I said, you know what? I got a lot of love for a lot of these creators. I watched them and everything. I would love to have a deeper conversation with them. And then I started my interview series, right?
Mm.
And then right off the bat, like I said, I was doing interviews. I was getting Van Lathan, Timothy De La Ghetto, or Chantarangsu now. I was getting Kev on stage to hear. Like I started going through the whole All Def collective and everything, and then just start doing that and start working and getting more consistent with it, dropping an interview every Saturday for 2 years straight, right? And then even then, I'm like, all right, I'm building my name up. All right, but you know what? Now that I got the name, let's go back at it again. And I tried it for like 6 months, still same thing, right? Nothing. So then one day I said, you know what? I feel like God is trying to steer me in a specific way. And I said, you know what? I am going to just believe in what he wants me to do. I'm going to stop fighting it. I'm going to stop trying to be a part of something. Once I started doing that, like literally, I made that was like my Christmas thought during the
Mm.
pandemic. January, we get hit up by Forbes and they're like, yo, we want to talk about what you guys are doing in the BLERD community. I said, bet. So now we got a Forbes interview.
Right.
Then my guy, who's a director in Cali, he was like, look, bro, we should do a documentary. He had this idea. So now we started the Black Geek documentary, announced it, GoFunded, getting so much love and support. Then the Black Wall Street Times interviewed us. Then I was like, you know what, man, I've been doing music my whole life. I'm doing podcasting. I said, I understand mic control and how to use my voice. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna try my hand out at voice acting. And I put it out there. I was like, yo, just there's a couple of milestones I want to hit. Watch Mojo reached out, said, hey, we want to give you a shot. Let's try something. I was like, all right, bet. I did one list with them. They said, if you want to do this full time, we are open to bringing you on the team. I just did my 57th video with Watch Mojo, you know,
Wow.
and so it's like once I stopped trying to be a part of something, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just be me and I'm gonna just work on what we doing and building. The people started coming. I started
Yeah.
getting contact from Revolt. We got on Sway's Universe. Like it was all the stuff that I wanted because I always said I want Geek Set to be like no matter what, because we blend hip hop culture and geek culture. I said I want if anybody says I want to talk to the Black geek, when they say like, oh, who do we got to involve? I want them to be like, okay, we got to get Geek Set. That's a gimme. Like you know
Right.
how like
Right.
certain things, there's like certain people that's like you can't do this without talking to this person.
Yeah.
And now there's people that's hitting me up like, yo, hey, this person said this about such and such. What you think about that? There's people that I've interviewed when they watch geek stuff, they hitting me up in the DMs like, yo, Deuce, you seen this? You seen this? And I said, yo, everything that I was trying so hard to get, once
It's
I
coming
stopped
to you.
trying to get it
Yep.
and trying to chase it, it came naturally. And I
It's
said,
it's weird. It's weird how that full circle moment
mhm,
happens, right? So like outside of this, I have Everyone Needs an Aquarius podcast.
mhm.
And you know, partnering with Daryl, like, and this happened because I interviewed Daryl and our other homeboy that was that's into music. We were talking about like the art of Ray J. People, but that's how my mind works. So like,
I love it though because without even knowing what it is, I know what
you
it
know
is.
what it is, right? So we were talking about all this different stuff, but we had this weird chemistry. And my friend had like blog awards, like he's an amazing writer. So we have similar interests because we both write. We both went to school. I think he just went to school for communication, but mine is like an emphasis like on broadcast journalism and whatever. So so we was like, we gotta do something, and so that's how that came about. And so we have the show like twice a month, but it's like the clips, like if he'll clip us out, it will do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can be able to fuel this because we have something. The world just has to catch on. So
Yeah.
we just got to keep doing what we doing and don't like force anything. Like, and I was gonna talk to Pat. I was like, Pat, listen to this. Cause like we after we meet about his stuff, like I have to have stuff now. So
Yeah.
that's what's super dope because shout out to Tahir.
Oh yeah, shout out to here.
I like I could
100%.
when I get emotional talking about Tahir because I don't think I've ever outside of like my best friend, I don't think for real from a male like I've experienced a friendship like that. And yeah, and we're family. Like I know Tahir through my sister. They've known each other since middle school. They dated in like seventh
Okay.
grade for like a week,
Okay.
and she broke up with him through a letter.
was
So
that
and
was that was that pre or post guns? Pre back guns or post back
the
guns?
guns happened at like 15, so pre guns. So his tribe has welcomed me with open arms.
Oh,
Like
that's the
I
whole
didn't.
reason I got eagle emojis because of his
Yeah, I
tribe.
was like, I didn't know Kev, Tony, Pat,
Hmm.
anybody. When Zooming with the homies came about before it was
Oh,
Zooming,
yeah.
we're at the beginning of the pandemic. At this time I'm dating the old man and I'm like, I wake up the next morning and I have a text message from Tahir that he sent me like at 11 o'clock, talking about, oh, what you doing? I got friends on the Zoom call, whatever. Because like everybody was hopping on Zoom
Yeah.
calls or long FaceTime calls. So that's what I'm thinking. I was like, yo, next time you do it, like, see what I'm doing. I'll be around. I hop on. I didn't know I was about to walk into a space meeting, like Kev, Keon,
Yeah.
Holy, and
Yeah.
Tony Baker, and then we get in an argument about the 5 heartbeats
Oh,
and
I
all
was
this
there. I
stuff.
was in the crowd. I was in
Yeah,
there.
I
I was in
feel
the
like the five
crowd.
heartbeats is trash, but whatever. So you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that changed a lot of stuff for me,
Yeah.
and seeing to hear to be able to create a space when the world is closed,
Oh man.
locked down, like changed a lot for me. And I told him that, when I had him on, I was like, I got to give you credit here
Mhm.
because if it wasn't for you, I'm not sure. And I had already had like two failed podcasts, so it's weird how, and I knew that I was going to have to do something on my own. I just didn't know what it looked like. And so I
Yeah.
stopped overthinking it and just was like, fuck it, I'm going to put it out there. I was talking to my play brother about some stuff and I was like, help me, I want to do this. I don't know what this looks like, but I want to make it seem like where the title is unisex, where men feel like it's not just for women and women feel like it's not just for men. And this is what we landed on.
Yeah. And so here's the thing about their collective. It goes to exactly what you said and why it's so dope because I've been again, I told you, I've been doing this for going on 6 years, right? The
Yeah,
first 3 years, it was very solo. Me and my crew, we didn't really have much, right? And then, we started doing the interviews. And when I interviewed Kev, that's when everybody from All Def started answering and saying, okay, I'm gonna hop on your podcast. I got CP, I got CT, I got Pat, Tahir,
yeah,
Tangerine, Meg, like everybody, right? And so I give a lot to them because I'm like, yo, y'all didn't have to. Y'all didn't have to hop on my
yeah,
podcast. Y'all didn't know me besides just being stage crew more mob, right? You know what I'm saying? But y'all hopped
yeah,
on. And I think what they have a really dope skill set of doing is identifying talent that they believe in no matter
yeah,
where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
yeah,
they welcomed you with arms. They welcome me with arms. The fact that Kev makes himself available to me. Kev got a billion things that he's doing. He does not have to answer my text messages or DMs, but he does. He
yeah,
doesn't have to interact with me, but he does. He doesn't have to shout me out on his podcast in front of all those 50,000 people that view it, but he does.
yeah.
To hear when I dropped my album, my last album, for no reason, I'm just in the crowd on Zooming with the homies in the comments, and then all of a sudden, Tahir goes on a 5-minute rant bigging up my album and telling everybody to go buy it. That was my most successful album ever. And I'm just like,
It's
yo,
but it's
you didn't
crazy
have to do
because like
this.
that's how when I first launched my candles and I did it private label.
Mm-hmm.
Tahir posted it, talked about it. More mobs sold me out. It was a couple of friends and one a coworker was able, but by that time he was like, okay, I'm gonna just buy these four because that's the only cent that's left. But the more mom did that, and so I
Mm-hmm.
told him that I was like, anytime like that's how people find me, and I love that. Like,
Yeah.
and that makes me feel. I always just try to be humble and nice to people until people get weird. People have this weird tendency to get kind of weird on me, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing?
What? Why?
I
You
don't
give off
know. I
such
don't know. It
great
happens.
energy. I don't see how you can get weird with you.
Yeah, I don't know. People get weird, and it just get weird. And so I'm like, what the fuck am I doing to make people feel like this is okay? I gotta check myself, So like, but for the most part, like the majority, like outside of like the few friends, I've been a person that's all about new friends. Like, fuck what Drake talking about,
Thank
because
you.
those new friends can take you to heights that you never even imagined. You know what I mean? Tangerine and I hung out. She invited me to a poetry slam, and it ended up being something completely different. I shot video of Tangerine in a dance contest while we was there. She has over 1 million views.
Oh,
From
you the one that shot that.
I shot that.
Okay, yeah, I remember that was like about like a month ago, right?
Like a couple months ago,
Yeah, like
yeah.
a month
Like
ago.
she was
Yeah,
doing
she
the
went crazy
splits
on
and doing
that.
all of this stuff. So CT has, he put me in the skit one time. I didn't read the email right. I didn't bring multiple clothes, but I was like, that ain't what I read. But whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But but it's also like BT always, for the most part, will include me in something too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you said, people being able to recognize and see the talent that's there, and
Yeah.
anybody's like, if I got a question about BT, gonna answer. Uh, same thing. Like, to hear Pat gonna tell me, he was like, how I can help you, like get to that point, like to reach those goals,
Right.
like I'm gonna help you. And people need friends like that. And I've always been a friend that always looked out for people. If I got contacts
Mm-hmm.
or you need, I always try like to
Same.
to put people together. Now, what happened after that don't got nothing to do with me, but I can make the I can make the, like, hey, I can introduce you, and then you go from there. And but I believe that a lot of stuff, it really does take a village, and I've always been an advocate for that. And because in hindsight, when I look over my life and look at like the traumatic experiences that happened like 6 months in, my mom passing away,
Yeah.
like we moved in with my aunt, like we didn't stay with our dad. We lived with
Yeah.
our aunt, my mom's sister. Then my dad's sister, my aunt Sharon, that passed away last year, was very instrumental in our life as well. Like, she was instrumental in that conversation. We spent our summers, our holiday breaks at her house with her kids. So it really takes a village,
It
you
does.
know um us being in puppet ministry, like like it takes a lot. And so if you feel like you got to do it alone, and we just, like we said, we have this, black people have this weird concept of, in order to make it, you got to struggle. I didn't realize that or understand that that's not true until I met Tahir. It's weird how that happened, because I was, at that time, I was like dating somebody when Tahir and I got super close, that had all the connections. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, because I had to hustle, I had to have blood, sweat, and tears, I probably missed out on a lot of good opportunities, because I was so set in my hustle ways. You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
I want us to get out of that. Like, be able to ask for help. If somebody has something and that you're trying to get to, like, speak up and say something.
Right.
Because your closed mouths don't get fed. Like, we say it all the time, but that also goes for our careers.
But
You know?
I think we also get in our mindset, not even outside of we feel like we got to struggle, but then also black people always try to stay out the way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like a lot of the times it's funny because like I remember, so the whole, like, saying shout out to Crystal Bubbling. That is a homie of mine's
Hmm.
for the long, long time when she was a DJ in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was a homie of mine's, right? So we was chopping it up, and I remember when I wanted to get Kev. Me, again, I'm a hustler, so I'm like, look, I'm gonna find my way to get to Kev. So I'm trying everything.
Hmm.
I know that she works directly with Kev, and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna ask her because, like, I don't want to bother her. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm asking
You're
for
probably,
something
yeah.
to get in my way, right? So after I exhausted everything trying to reach out to Kev, I said, fuck, all right, let me hit her up. So I hit her up. I'm like, I come in hat in hand. Hey, Crystal. Hey, I gotta. hey, I know you know Kev. Is there any way, like, just you ain't got to tell him? She was like, she literally was like, nigga, what do you want? I was like, all right, well, I'm trying to get him on the show. She's like, all right, give me a moment. Hit him up within like an hour and a half. Kev hit me up back like, hey, all right, yeah, we let's schedule it. I got you. And I'm just like, damn, dog, I really spent like 2.5 weeks racking my brain trying to reach Kev. And I could have just did this in like an hour, but it was like
Yeah.
we get in our way. We're like, I don't want to be a
It really,
problem. I don't want
because
to
we don't
bother.
want to bother people or whatever. But you better believe, like, oh, I'm gonna ask to hear. I'm like, I don't have Kev. Like, I don't. Kev don't follow me.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, when Tahir has said, oh, he's like, I ain't seen you in a minute, 10, 11, whatever. What is? He was like, oh, she busy with a podcast and she don't have us on. I'm calling Kev. Tony, like I try to look at people's schedule
Mm-hmm.
and see what they got going on, but I'm like, I'm not doing that no more.
Same.
What's the worst you can say is no.
You know what? That's why I feel like I'm just gonna pull the trigger. One of the reasons why I haven't even got out to Cali yet, because I was like, I got it in my mind. I'm like, all right, when I get out there, I gotta have this plan. I gotta be doing this. Like, I want to have an itinerary. And I'm just like,
Honestly,
just I
like
need to take my ass out there.
you just need to take your ass out here. Bring it. So here's the thing. It's the crazy thing. I knew I was moving to LA in eighth grade, like well, the summer
Yeah.
of freshman year. So I went to New York that summer and I came to LA.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, New York feel like St. Louis. I ain't fucking with it. Like it's humid, it's hot, people kind of like rude, don't have time. LA had a different air and it felt
Yeah.
like home. So I was like, this is my plan. After graduating from high school, I'm out. Well, my mom made me go to college. So
Yeah.
and after that, I'm telling you, like, even if you just start coming to her, like you say, I want to come out, like if you got something going on, just come out, plan a week out. So if you know
Yeah.
you want to do interviews, you can rent the studio,
Mm-hmm.
or and there's or and there are multiple studios. You can rent a space, interview your people. You
Well,
know
I mean, if I come out there, I'm using Dion's studio. Me and Dion, that's the homie.
but that's what I said. I said
Dion
you
Lack. Yeah.
have Dion, whatever the
Yeah.
case might be, because ultimately I want to start doing in person stuff where I can if somebody is
Same.
local.
Yeah.
So absolutely, like Dion Studio isn't far from my house. Kev isn't super far. I'm in between both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
is.
I would just say just come out here and have a plan, and then think about forecast your next trip,
Yeah.
and then go from there. And I moved out here. I only had like 7 or 8K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might and just move. Like now, I know that rent hit more for what I was renting when, like when I first moved out here. But I
Well,
was just like, but it's like I'm learning to step out on faith.
yeah. Well,
Like,
that's what I've been doing lately. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna just get out there. Faith.
yeah,
It's funny because faith has became so much more important in my life. Like I've always been spiritual. I don't subscribe to a specific religion, but I believe in God and a higher power. Like that's where my
right,
religion. That's
right.
where I'm at. And but these past 2 years has been the most free that I have ever been.
Uh,
And I give it all to, I said, you know what? I'm going to stop fighting the tides. Wherever God points me, I'm going. So
baby.
when God's like, look, do this. And I'm like, really? All right, I'm doing it. And it's been paid off. Let's see, one of the scariest moments for me, and again, it comes from, me being just me. Like, let's hear, I've never really shared my emotions with people because
Mm,
I'm a figure it out. And I always think in my head, I'm like, people don't want to care about my emotions. So I'm a figure it out because I got the willpower to do so.
stay there. Is there any air in your chart?
So I'm not big on horoscopes. I don't know what that means.
Oh God, this doesn't help me.
I don't know what that means.
That was very air.
Okay.
And air signs are Aquarius, Libras, and Geminis.
Okay. So no. How? No.
Okay.
What? No. I do know what's in my sign.
Oh, do you know your chart?
I don't know my chart, but I know fire is associated with me.
Say that one more time. You cut out.
Oh, I know fire is associated with me.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah,
I'd be interested to pull your chart. Do you know what time you were born?
that I don't
There's
know.
air.
Because
There's
you
air
talking
in your
about
chart
you talking
somewhere
about
because
the rising and the stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
I don't know that.
It's air in your chart somewhere.
I would love for somebody to do a reading for me.
Yeah, there's air somewhere
Okay.
because that comes up often with my air sign guests
Hmm.
or just the conversation. And then I was like, oh, that's air in your chart. And then I was like, are you this? And they're like, yes. How did you know? And I was like, because you said this.
Ah.
And that comes up often about how we conceal our emotions
Hmm.
a lot. So you
Well,
either you're a Sagittarius or you're a Scorpio. No, you're either a Sagittarius or a Scorpio.
nope.
I'm not sure. I'm not giving Aries, but if you are Aries, that's gonna be weird.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a quick hint before. And um, I've been told that when I tell people my sign, they're like, "You are the most different version of that sign that I've ever seen."
See, because it's. I wonder if your moon
I'm gonna
is
ask
in
my
the.
mom. I'm gonna ask my
I'm gonna
mom if
ask,
she
yeah,
knows the sign.
ask your mom what time you were born because there's air coming through, and I wonder if it's your moon that's in air.
Could be. You want to know what it is?
You said fire.
Yeah.
Are you an Aries?
Nope.
But I said the other two. No, I didn't. Wait, I don't think Sagittarius is a fire.
Nope.
No, or no, Scorpio is a fire. Scorpio is you gonna end up being something like a Leo or something wild.
Yes, I
I
am.
knew it. You're
See
gonna be.
what?
I was like, because okay. So here's the thing. I have a Leo rising and a Leo moon,
Mm-hmm.
but that statement that you made was very airy.
Well, I don't know. That's what I never I've never had a reading. I never had anybody dive in deep. The only two things that I know is that I am like I said I'm a Leo, but also in the Chinese horoscope, I was born in the year of the tiger. So I was like, yo, I got
Oh,
two big
I'm the
cats with me.
fluid,
Like,
or was I the rabbit?
so I was like, that's crazy that I'm a Leo and a tiger in one.
Wow. Because my mind, like literally, is so crazy. Because when I tell people that my like what my rising is, people say that I present like a Leo a lot, and my dad's a
Okay.
Leo. So me and my daddy be clashing because I'm like, bro, like so headstrong, and I'm like, no. But it's funny because like we as air signs like the Gemini, the Libras, and the
Hmm.
Aquarius, we do try to conceal our emotions and not really show like the world because we feel like often that people won't care.
And that's how
Um,
I feel. I
there's
literally feel
something
that
you
way.
got. You got
I
peace.
literally feel that way. So it's like, so because of that, and because I always feel like I'm gonna just figure it out. There's
Yeah,
a lot of times that like if I'm struggling, if I'm going through it, it's like I'm like I can pull from somebody. Going into this game, being from Milwaukee, I don't have a big bro, I don't have a mentor, I don't have anybody I can pull from. Fortunately, there's been people in my life that been like, yo, let what you need, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So like Tahir has given me advice. I told you guys about Deborah Wilson, who've been giving me advice and everything like that. So I'm coming across people who's like, look, I got you. Whatever you
yeah,
need,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But it's like, but it's one it's it became where I'm like, you need to tell me that I can come to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm always in my head like I'm stay out the way, man. Like, hey, Dominique, she seemed cool, but I can't come to her and vent to her, man. She gonna be like, "Who? Deuce is wild, like he crazy." But it's like, you know what I'm saying. But then
Okay,
once,
not you. There's other people. I've had
yeah,
to block people. If you're not blocked, you're fine.
yeah.
You're not the reason I turn my comments off on my stories. Okay, like
As I'm all about love, man. Like I said,
I think part of it too is just like um, I think sometimes I don't tell certain things just because in my past I've been so gaslit,
mhm.
and as I've gotten older, it's weird. I was just talking to my best friend. My best friend is a Gemini, so we were talking about something that I don't know what's happening, but I was like, this is why you're my best friend
Mhm.
because you're able to take a step back and fully observe sometimes like my history
Right.
and then pull from it and then articulate to me like it's literally God and the universe, however you want to say it, is talking to me. So I
Right.
love those moments with him. And so in that, it's like there are moments where like that's the main person that I can be vulnerable with because I know that
Mm-hmm.
my best friend won't judge me. He will allow me to feel what I'm feeling. But then he's gonna be like me, was like, all right, so what we gonna do about this? Are you like, like I just want you to feel. And so there are only certain people that I feel like I can confide in. And I'm glad that I
Okay.
have those few people. But it's like I wish sometimes I had the space
Yeah.
with certain people just to say whatever it is, where it's not like they feel like they're being attacked
Yeah.
or trying to diminish whatever I'm feeling. Like, and that's even something I've talked to with my sister about sometimes. And sometimes I feel like that with her. I was like, because we grew up in the same house, doesn't mean that our experiences were the same.
Definitely, me and my brother the same. You know, me and my brother, like we talk about all the time. Like our the basis of the teaching from our parents is the same, but our
Yeah.
experience is way different. I was way more out here in these streets living. My brother was way more living in the college lifestyle and everything like
Yes.
that. So where I'm out here
You the younger
partying,
kid? You the younger sibling?
no, I'm the oldest.
Really? See the
I'm the
oh, that's
oldest.
so weird. You
See,
I
I'm not the
want your chart.
I what I was gonna tell you. My mom said somewhere around 1 p.m. is around. She said she got to check the birth certificate. She's looking for it right now, but she
Okay,
said if
cool.
she remembers, it's around 1 p.m. But like I said, people always say because here's the thing, I am an extrovert in every sense of the word extrovert. Right?
Okay.
Like I'm an extrovert so much that I've heard so many people talk about them being introvert that I feel like the outcast because I'm a person that no matter what room you put me in, I'm good. And
Yeah.
I think that also goes into my psyche because I live in a sea of positivity, right? I
Yeah.
give everybody the benefit of doubt that you're going to do good until you prove me wrong. And people
Yeah.
call me crazy because I'm like, look,
That's
I
fucking
get it.
airing your chart, bro. God
I
wants
was
your
like,
friend.
I was like, I get it. Like a lot of people's like, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn my respect. But I'm like, look, I have belief in humanity that people want to do good. Now I'm not naive. If you prove me wrong, then yeah, now you on my bad side, and I can't,
Okay.
and I don't come
Can
back
we
from it.
blindly
Yeah,
pull your chart?
I'm with it.
Let's see. Let's
I'm
see.
with it.
'Cause, like this is weird. And then watch I be wrong. But you're saying stuff that is very like, you know, falls in line with
I know people stack and listen all my life. People when I tell people like you not a Leo, I'm
what
like I'm born August 14th. Of course I'm a Leo.
yeah,
They're
you're a
like you a
Leo.
different Leo.
Oh my God. Like what year?
1986.
Oh, okay. So you're just a year older than me. Rudy, what's your last name?
Strong.
Okay.
Got a strong black name, Rudy Strong.
Right. That is hella black. Okay. So
And
we
I'm the third.
okay, I'm gonna say technically we don't know your birth time. Okay. What city? Are you in Milwaukee? Is that where you born or were you
Yeah,
born
born
somewhere
and
else?
raised in Milwaukee. Well, I'm a military brat, but I was born and raised in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah. This is gonna be my first one. This is gonna be my very,
I
very first.
don't know. Like I'm like this is like really I don't know. It's something going on.
So you want to know what's this is what's hilarious. So me and my mom is exactly alike because my mom's birthday is 2 days after mine. So I was born August 14th. My mom was born August 16th. She said she was trying to hold out for me so we can have the same birthday. But me and my mom is like this. I listen here. I am
Your
I
Venus
I
is
am
in
forever.
Libra. I,
I'm I'm
that's
forever a mama's boy. Like I tell, like I'm not a lame mama's boy. Like the ones that get on people's nerves. But it's like my mom's is everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one of those
yeah.
things. It's my love for black women because of her. And that's one of the things that I'm very very vocal about because my life there's been so many influential black women in my life from my mom, from my
Mhm.
aunts, from people who helped me out in just my endeavors that I got so much love from black women that like I always make sure that I'm extra loud. Like, hey, you want to call me a pick me? I'm a pick me for black women. You want to call me I'm trying to save them? Hey, yes, I'm definitely am. Because here's the one thing that I realized having black women as friends and just even just listening to you guys speak is one, I don't ever feel offended when y'all be like, nigga, black men ain't shit, niggas ain't shit. Because I see that the majority don't think like I think. And so I'm like, when I
Mm,
see it, I'm like, I don't feel the need to defend to be like, well, Dominique, not all black women, I mean black men, because I'm like, I get it. The majority that you guys are dealing with ain't ain't doing us justice here, right? So it's like it's one of those things that I was like, I'm loud with my allyship. That's why at the beginning I start calling out the LGBTQ community is because I am a true ally. I go to my cousin. She is an activist in Wisconsin that does amazing work, and I show up to the events. I perform at the pride rallies because I said, you know what? As a black man and seeing how we get treated, how do I look treating another marginalized group the
right.
same? So it's like I'm going to be loud with my allyship because one, as an ally, nobody should have to pull you and tell you to support. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
should black women shouldn't have to plead for black men to help and be an ally. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be loud for it. Same thing with the LGBTQ plus community. You should not have to say, I need you. Come, let me teach you. Like, no, I am personally going to make sure that I'm there, make myself available, and I am going to listen because
Yeah.
I can't speak for the community, but I can listen to what you guys want and what
Right.
allies
Right.
you want, and I'm gonna be that. And that's kind of
Yeah.
like my mission with
It's
life. And
human
so that's
rights. It's
yeah.
basic as human rights, and a lot of people are just terrible as human beings. So that's why I was saying, I was like, this is weird. You give me air, low key. Like I would I'll be interested to see if she can find the time. But you do have a lot of air in your chart. You got Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini in your chart.
Okay.
But based on this, with the no time, if we're just going vaguely, blindly, your Venus is in Libra, your Mars is in Capricorn, Mercury is in Leo, and then your moon is in Sagittarius.
Okay.
So, like your moon, like that's kind of how you present to the world. So
Okay.
that's like more your personality. So like mine, like I have the pattern app, and I have CoStar. So CoStar, let me pull it because I want to make sure I'm telling you right, but I think I'm right.
And it's there.
Um,
I'm gonna believe it. If anybody debated, I'm like, look, I
yeah,
trust
I
her.
was
I
like,
trust her more than I trust you.
I was like, because there might be somebody that might, like, know better, So like with your birth chart, with your Venus, I'm trying to see what Venus is. It's like Venus is how you determine how you love. I mean, you might be a complicated lover if that's in Libra. And Mercury being in Leo, which is your sun sign, that's how you communicate to people. So it's how you communicate, how you talk, how you think, how you process information.
Mhm.
So I could also kind of see that, but I don't know. That being that Libra, that air was coming through today.
It was coming through today.
It was. I was like, that's really weird. That's
So
really weird. So that's why I was
be-
like, you're gonna be
being
some
that
weird
you're
food.
being that you're connected to this, does the love language goes into with this at all? Because I know my love languages.
I feel like it could a little bit because like okay, so it's weird because my my Venus being in Capricorn,
Hmm.
I can see how more so recently I need this nigga to be in my skin and I need to be in his, okay? Like
Hmm.
I've been
You want to
uh
know? You know what?
like at times I feel like at times like I don't really want to say how I feel. Because I don't want to feel that rejection if the person on the receiving end isn't necessarily in the same space. And I feel like I've always been like that. So when it comes to love and relationships, it's weird because a lot of the men that I've dated, especially in my younger years, a lot of them are married now. It's like they get married after me. It's like I'm
Oh,
some
right.
level of chaos for them. But then the conversation afterwards, it's like, oh my God, I did not understand
Mm-hmm.
until I met somebody that needed XYZ, because I still keep a level of independence because I'm an Aquarius. So I don't, there, when I need you on me, I need you on me. But after that, I'm like, yo, okay, cool. Like,
You know what I do. So here's the thing. As a man, a lot of times, society they don't want us to say that. But here's the thing: what I love, and this is what I'm like, what I feel like I want, and
okay,
I realized this the past 2 years. I want the annoying woman in my life to be like, whereas like we don't do couple content. Like I don't really want to do it, but I kind of really want to do it. Like I want you to pull me
okay.
into it though.
Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. As secretive and private as I am, every once in a while, I want to throw up a picture where I'm holding somebody's hand.
You know
You
what
ain't got to see their face, because here's the thing.
I'm saying?
I don't want to show somebody's face because I ain't got time. I'm not going back and forth with a bitch in my DM. Like I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to post the hand of somebody and that just be that.
Yeah, like I said,
And I
like
want niggas to be mad. And I
yeah,
want the bitches that thought they could get me to be mad. Even though I don't even entertain women. You know what I mean? But it's nice to feel wanted. And so
yeah,
that's all I want to do. Like I want to put a picture up and leave people like, is this real? Like how Issa posted those wedding pictures, and people was like, is this a photo shoot? Is this real? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going
yeah,
on? I get like this crazy thrill, like this feeling, this rush of like out of like being a tease to people. So I just
yeah,
want to be able to do that once. That's it. Like every blue moon, you don't know, and then you don't see it ever again. It might be a hidden photo. I might, but I don't want. I just every blue moon. And I don't necessarily want to do couple content like you said, but it's like every once in a while I might want to post something, or it's like we having this healthy debate about something,
yeah,
or you just showing me like whisking me away, and we're just having a great day. That's it.
yeah.
I ain't gonna
I
post
love it. Like I said, that's it. Because here's the thing: when I look at it, I be looking at the contents, and I be like, so I look look at it like Angel and Tank. You know what I'm
it.
saying? And like as much as Tank be trying to look like he annoyed when Angel be like, we got to do this. He secretly love it, and I'm like, I
He said
want
he
that.
loved
I want that.
me.
And then also, because of like I'm confident in myself. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I do not mind if I had a woman that's like out there, like, like Instagram photos posted and people, because I'm like, look here, I'm confident knowing that she's coming home to me. I'm okay with people like, yo, she bad. I'm like, yeah, she is, ain't she? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She
I don't
bad.
know. It's
I'm
always
gonna hype her
that's
up.
but it's always a weird space to navigate when those things happen, right? Because I think people have an idea, like men have an idea of me, or they assume certain things. Like
Yeah.
the running theme is that I'm kept, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't doing the keeping, it's somebody else doing the keeping. Like I'm doing the keeping, and that's been a recurring theme for years.
Yeah.
So how people assume that, like, oh, I know your DM. No, it's not. They dry. They quiet, and I'm
I
okay
ain't
with
gonna,
it.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm surprised. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm surprised.
People always show. I was like, I will show you. They're not
But you
there.
know what? You know what? You know what? No, I'm not surprised. You know why? Because you also, based off of your post and what I've seen from your content, you are a person that is like, all right, if you're gonna come, you got to come at her correct, right? So I can see a lot of niggas probably like psyching themselves out, like, ooh, I'm gonna slide in a DM, but then when they get there, they're like, I don't even know what to say.
I have slid into the DMs of record execs, red
Mhm.
basketball play, red, like,
Oh,
you know.
you be shooting your shot
I be shooting, I be bricking, and it's okay.
out here?
When I
Nobody ever
run,
shot.
when I
You know what?
run
I
to
haven't
my
had
shot,
that
I ain't
many
shooting
people
my
shot
shot
they
no
shot at
more.
me. I can't. I don't know how my. I wonder how is it going to feel when somebody. Because here's the thing. I'm a cool ass dude, right? So I get friend zoned a lot
I
in my
get friends
life.
all the time.
I get friends on a lot because I'm cool. Like, because here's the thing. I've always said, one, I like being cool with women because you get an insight of things that you don't like. I just as
Yeah,
men, you're never going to get. But I'm capable of being cool with women without trying to smash. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So because of that, they never look at me like that. And then later on, this is what I hate. This is what women, y'all got to stop doing this because
no, don't say women.
yes,
What type of
this is a light
don't
one. This is a light one. This is not the male podcast thing.
okay.
But what y'all got to stop doing is friend zoning us, or at least we it seems like we friend zone, and then years later we bump into you like, oh, you know, I always liked you. Like, come on.
Here's the thing.
You could
Here's the thing
have
about
said
that.
that.
Okay, so this has happened. So I had a homeboy that I met through a basketball player. Like they used to play OKC,
Yeah.
Hashim, right? So his homeboy and I became like really, really great, like really good, like good friends. Like FaceTime when I would go to Arizona, like we would kick it, like all of this stuff. I never knew that he liked me. I kind of I was, but then I didn't want to be like you because like how I was raised was like everybody not gonna think you cute, everybody not gonna think you pretty, blah blah blah. Blah.
Right.
Like outside of this household, once you leave 13, 24, or whatever, that we love you,
Right.
right? So with that being said, like I was like, I think, but I'm not sure. But he was really cool. I was like, I could kind of date him, but I never knew. Like, but I was like, he never made a pass at me
Right.
outside of like when we would go to eat. He would pay for my food. But that's also what my homeboys did. So that's what
Right.
I was. We're friends, right? So we are texting one day about something. And at that time, he was like, "Oh, well, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm about to go on a date." Because you asked why, that's literally
Right.
what I was doing. He got so mad at me. How was I supposed to know? And so I told my sister.
She
And
knew. She knew. She knew all the time, didn't she?
she was like, they say, so you did not know that, so like, she was like,
Y'all never know.
yeah. Like he never said it. And then he also mentioned one time like about talking to somebody. So I just took it like it was nothing, like conversation. But now, oh, I'm the bad guy. Now I'm a jerk.
Because we be trying to be cool. Listen here, that's the thing. We be cool, and it's like, look here, we don't listen here. Unless the moment happens, then like, look, because we know that there's more men in your life that is hounding you.
That could be true or false, right? So there was
Yeah.
one person that I was like Hawkeye. Like I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off because of the realm this person was in.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna pull this shit off. Like this is my dude,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it is. And maybe he not. Even if he my dude, just for the night, one night only, like Dreamy Girl said. I got one night only to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a good time, and if that's that, that's that. I ended up knowing people in the same circle, but I ended up meeting him like post game.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool. Let me be cute or whatever. Like that's what I'm gonna do. And then by this time, I had like met this person's sibling. So I was like, okay, but I still was a little nervous, like my little normal, like geeky self. And I was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't want to come on too strong or like press, like I'm like a groupie or whatever. But I'm giving groupie vibes. I don't give a fuck. Like we're here. And my sister was like, "What the fuck was that? Like, you didn't even say." I was like, "I don't know what to do. Like, this is weird for me." So the second opportunity presents itself. So I'm like hitting on one of my homegirls. I was like, "I don't know what to say. Just give me a line." I need coaching. Put me in, coach. You gotta tell me what to say.
Turn to a whole sitcom show episode. So I'm gonna put the earpiece in my ear. Y'all just feed me lines.
Yo, I gave this person on social media, didn't even give them my phone number. Like that's how slow I was.
Is that is that and I mean, but is that ain't that what people do now?
Yeah, but at this time, it wasn't like I think that was still kind of new.
Okay,
But
okay,
also, I was like, not giving it this person my number wouldn't make me seem as pressed.
yeah.
But I was pressed, and I knew I was pressed.
Why do we psych ourselves out? Why can't we be pressed? It's okay.
I,
That's what I said. I'm like, I
because
don't get
I'm a
that.
gangster.
I
I'm a
know, but I'm
gangster,
saying,
okay? Like
but
I'm a thug.
I feel
I
like
don't get pressed.
I
These
feel like
niggas get
depending
pressed
on what
over
you
me.
want. I feel like depending on what you want, right? So it's
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
got this like in my life, if I see something, I want it, I'm gonna go get it. You feel me? Like that's
yeah,
kind of how I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, there's still that human aspect of it. It's like, man, all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to cross the line. You know what I'm saying? Especially in business. You know what I'm saying? It's you come
yeah,
across people that you in business. It's like, damn. But it is that. It's just like, yo, we psych ourselves out because I mean, if you are again, and when I say it depends on what you want, like if you're looking for like a quick smash or something like that, then yeah, you're like, all right,
okay, yeah,
I don't want to just go there. But like if this is somebody that you're like, yo, I think I want to date this person, go for what you want. I like, you
okay,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
okay. So with that said, the second time when I gave the social, I was like, I can't believe, like, because my friends that were with me, and they were like, you didn't give me your number. I was like, I don't know, like, I didn't. And I was like, this is just really weird. And then there's like, but the person ends up following me on Twitter, right?
Right.
I wake up, I was like, oh my God. Why did he follow me on Instagram? Because he didn't see, I be out here, like, I be hitting like the angles, right?
You do be hitting angles.
I be hitting angles. And this is before DM. Because
Yeah.
the only place you could send DM was like Twitter at that time. So the
Mm-hmm.
person just followed me and I just was like, oh my God, like this is so annoying. Like I'm so corny and lame. And then Vine came out and then the person followed me on Vine. And then ultimately he would follow me on Twitter. Then he got engaged. Like it was just a whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck? Like this is so wild. You playing because I've been seeing you out in the city in the off season
Yeah.
and you wave and you will stare like like stop playing with me.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to make the first move. See, that's the issue. There's a lot of unities that fail because nobody wants to make the first move.
Oh, so ultimately I end up at his house for a barbecue.
Yeah.
That day was very chaotic because like my friend was like, okay, so I need to tell you something before we leave. And I was like, what? And she's like, so I went out one night and and I put my number in this. I said, why would you do that?
She crossed the line right there.
I would never do that. I said, remember the one situation, and then I made sure that happened for you. Like, why would you do that? So you know
Right.
what I mean. So I was like, oh my God. So we kind of like we have a conversation about it, and then it comes up again at the house because when I go over there, of course he like knows me, and so he's like comes
Right.
over, gives me a hug, say what's up. I'm like, man, what the fuck, like man, like what the fuck. Ultimately, years later, it will take years for him to slide into my DMs, and it's mainly probably because of a tweet. I'm confident that it was a tweet that I had, or I added the person. I didn't think he would see it.
Oh, you added him. See, when you go for what you want, you get what you want.
Listen. And the rest is history. So I was like, so what took you? I was like, so you've known this for XYZ time. Mm-hmm. What took you so long? He said, it don't matter now. We're here. Don't talk to me like that. I need answers.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Like, hey, we passed that. We passed that. We passed that.
So did I manifest it? Possibly, yes. Mm-hmm. Did I purposely have this person on my vision board? Possibly. Was it for me? I don't like timing is a big deal. I think because if I said who was, it would make sense. Like I feel like a lot of it is timing. Mm-hmm. But don't let that nigga spin the block on me. I be trying. I mean, I'm gonna leave all this bullshit behind.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
But it's hard. But it's hard. Like, because I don't think, and like you, I'm a confident person. I'm super confident.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like Michael B was flirting with me one time. And I was like, I'm soaking it all in. I'm gonna take what I can. I felt like I know that nigga was flirting with me because
I've
I
been
was
I've been notoriously blamed for being oblivious to flirting as well. So I stopped judging when people are flirting because again, I'm a cool ass dude. So it's like somebody can be giving me rhythm and I'm thinking like, oh, we just cool. We just cool.
like, if you don't like make a mean joke and this is terrible, like where you kind of teasing me,
I've had,
how am I supposed to know?
and it's funny because like again, goes back to women, you guys are able to spot it like a mile away. Because I've had women friends be like, you know, she was flirting with you. I was like, wait, who? Her? Like, when? What?
Yeah.
Like, no, I thought we were just chopping it up because I talk to everybody the same way, you know.
Yeah.
But again, unless I'm intentional. But again,
Like,
I get in my head and I can't get intentional unless I know for sure that the other person is interested in.
and like it's so funny because like even I've been in situations where I've been out with my guy and like bitches have flirted with him and I was just like, and I'm like, so you just gonna flirt back? It's like you just gonna, like,
Right.
or I know I'm like, are you gonna get us a discount? Like, what's happening? Like, or he be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, like,
She was on you.
yeah, like, and no, if you ask it, you would know,
Yeah.
no. But it's so funny because like I feel like that's sometimes like I feel like I'm so aloof.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was somebody like you gotta tell me because I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I don't.
All right, so here's it. This here. It's gonna be. We're locked in. Me and you, we're locked in. When we're out, we gotta look out for each other now. We gotta look out for each other. You gonna have to tell me if somebody flirting with me. I'm gonna have to tell you if somebody flirting with you. We gonna have to look out for each other since we both are obviously oblivious to this.
Okay? Because like sometimes like I'll be somewhere and I'm like, okay. If you tell me no about something, like, okay. I'm like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
If I'm out with you, like, and we're conversing and it's a group of people and yeah, we're having like a one-on-one conversation like amongst a group of people, that doesn't mean anything to me. So if you like you said, you got to do something.
Got to do something.
And like I tell people, I would say, hey, yeah, I'm dating somebody, but if you think you can compete, like I'm telling you right now, it's a game. So may the best man win and put yourself in the game and try to win. You know what I mean? Hey. And a lot of people fall by the wayside. Like that's all I'm saying. Like, but I appreciate you so much for coming on.
Oh, this is a blast.
I know. I'm so happy.
Like we could talk forever. Like
we did. I was only trying to hold you for an hour. I was trying to go run to Target. I need some more Montreal sauce to make my steak, and I needed some spinach.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, it's been 2 hours, and I need to take my dog outside because she's gonna be mad at me. So tell the people where they can find you, how they can listen to your podcast, because I definitely got to have you back on because I wanted to ask you, how the hell was I was like, you was rapping, you was making music in these streets, and then so I want to definitely have
anytime.
Yeah.
Let me know. Okay. But y'all can follow me young_Deuces everywhere on all social media or Geek Set Podcast everywhere. Like I said, we're at Sway's Universe doing exclusive content there. But also, if you are a fan of Watch Mojo, you can hear my voice over there narrating some of their top 10 lists.
Oh my God, that's so dope. That's so dope.
Yeah.
Like it's so much. Like I literally was like, I'm getting out my way. Cause like I'm getting out my way. I'm putting myself out there this year. Like so whatever like I can do, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and like I told you, if there's anything that I can do to help you, let me know. I got your back.
Thank you so much.
Like, so we locked in. We locked in.
Like a giant tree. Yeah, Dream Girls. That's my go-to line.
That's your go-to? All right.
So y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Don't forget we have the candles. Don't forget to use code Aquarius at checkout to get 30% off of your purchase of $60 or more. We also have still my promo code at Slide Jewels, which is St. Angela's. At checkout, you get 30%. I think that might be 30 or 40% off of your first subscription box. You can cancel at any time. Don't forget, we also have the Aquarius podcast. You don't have to be an Aquarius to listen to it. It is just me and my homeboy talking out our asses from our perspective, as well as the review of Married at First Sight. So we got a lot going on in these streets,
Straight.
and just trying to give y'all the best and dopest content. So be sure to subscribe, like, and share the podcast, as well as Geek. See,
Geek set. Think like Dipset.
he said, duh. Okay, Loki, I'm tipsy, and I kept it together.
Hey, you did a great job. You did a great job.
Okay, because here's the thing: it's like the other week, I was like, okay, I ain't ate all day, and then I started drinking, and I was like, why did I do this? And I was so drunk, which is okay. It's a good time, y'all. I'm running around the court tournament. I gotta go to Target. Like
You gotta go to Target.
I gotta get listen, and I haven't been trying to eat as many carbs, or if I have a carb, it's like a treat. So like
Mhm.
not like a potato or something like so it's a treat. So like last night I had an ice cream sandwich.
Okay.
So
Okay. Hey,
moderation, because I'm trying to
moderation.
find these holes at the beach this summer, and I'm chunky. So
Wait, you chunky where?
dog, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. A whole weight a whole weight in my gut, and I'm trying to lose the gut and get a butt, and weight holds in my boobs, and like right here. And so I'm trying to get rid of this buccal fat. So I have to get surgery.
I believe that's one of those things that you see, but the world don't see.
Listen, I'm trying to. Okay, so it will be different. Okay, so also I'm about to go back blonde with my hair, and
Okay.
ultimately I want to like cut like a certain length. I gotta lose the fat off of my face because then I'm just gonna look brown, and I don't want my face. Okay, and I'm just telling you the truth. But y'all, thank you so much, and come back next week. We're gonna have more dope show for y'all. So actually, by that time, it should be June, and I'm thinking about dedicating June to dads. I think I'm gonna do
Ooh,
each
nice.
episode, each week it'll be a dad, and we'll talk about their journey into fatherhood, the highs, the lows, the lessons that they've learned. So yes, definitely tune in for that and
That's gonna
share
be a
this.
solid. That's gonna be a solid, solid,
Y'all.
solid episode. So I'm gonna tune in for those.
It's crazy because the ones that I've had, yo, we've had such a crazy great time, and I've learned so much. And women, all I gotta say is this: if it's a man that wants to be in his son's life, before we get out of here, though y'all are not together, allow him to be in that child's life. It's a lot of
Yes.
y'all making it difficult for men that want to show up and that want to be there for their child. And sometimes love fizzles out. It is okay to be heartbroken and be upset, but cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it and move on. And I know that's easier said than done, but now it's no longer about you, it's about your kid, and you are hurting your child. So, yes, that's what we're doing for the month of June. We're dedicating that to Black fathers.
I love it.
So,
Love it.
yeah. So, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all here next week.